Welcome back, everybody. This is Retro Replay with a quick review of the North American launch games for the Nintendo Game Boy. The Game Boy was released on July 31st, 1989 in North America and launched with only 5 available games. First on the list here, and probably most notable, is Tetris. This was the included pack-in game for the Game Boy, which was a pure stroke of genius by Nintendo. Anyone can play this game, even my mom, and she loved it. I remember playing this game for hours on end, just trying to get better and better, and as you can see by this gameplay, I'm not very good anymore. But I'd be willing to bet every single person on the planet has probably played this game. Up next, we have Baseball. And I will say this is probably the worst game of baseball I've ever played. There's very few options, as you can see here. There's only 2 teams in the game. The only saving grace is probably the hitting and the pitching, which are decent, but it's extremely easy to hit the ball and extremely difficult to field and run the bases. You can see in this clip how slow everything moves. This game is just bad, bad, bad. Next up, we have Tennis for the Game Boy. And I actually enjoyed this game when I was a kid. I owned this and played it a lot. I actually like playing tennis, and I like tennis games. I enjoyed this one, even though it is a very simple game. And once you learn how to play at the net, you can just dominate the computer. Regardless, I still enjoyed this as a launch game and spent a lot of time playing this. It's a very fun game. And I think that ball hit me right in the junk there. You can see what the net play is like here. Once you get the hang of it, it's just dominating because the player movement is so slow. But that is Tennis for the Game Boy. Next up here we have Alleyway. This would be considered an Arkanoid ripoff, clone, whatever you want to call it. But it is actually very fun. It's probably kind of boring to watch someone else play the game, but as a single player game and being able to play this directly on the Game Boy is actually pretty fun. You do play this with just the D-pad on the Game Boy, so you're just hitting left and right to move your paddle around, but it's actually very responsive and it's pretty easy to play. Playing games like Arkanoid or anything like this, you know, it's always going to be better with a spinner / paddle type controller, but it works really well on here. It was always exhilarating to get the ball up into this top section and just let it go wild. There's a good variety in the levels here. Sometimes the blocks drop down periodically. Sometimes they're moving left or right. Sometimes there's spaces in them like this. It's always changing and shifting it up on you as you progress through the different levels. I definitely owned this as a kid and put a lot of time into this game as well. This was a really fun one for me when I was younger. And I still play it periodically now as an adult. And that is Alleyway for the Game Boy. Next up here, we have probably the most popular launch game. Maybe besides Tetris, maybe they're equal in that regard, but this was not a pack-in game. But we have Super Mario Land. I actually already did a video of a full playthrough of this game, which I recommend you all go back and check out if you haven't already. And a lot of this footage here is actually from that playthrough. I did go a little crazy here with the different kinds of transitions. I figured out in the editing software how to do different kinds of transitions, so I did go a little crazy here with them, but it was fun, and it helps piece together a lot of different levels and the different themes that are going on in this game, because there is a lot. There's a lot of variety in the different worlds, and I just wanted to try to show as much of that here as I could. Regardless, this game is still very fun. It is a little bit of a strange Mario game. The physics are weird, the jumping's weird. Instead of a fireball, you have a rubber bouncing ball. I don't know if they ever clarified that's what it was, but that's how the physics of the ball are. It just bounces. But the game is still fun to play. There's these shoot 'em up sections to add a little variety into the gameplay. Probably the biggest complaint on this game is the length. It only takes 30 to 40 minutes to finish the game in its entirety. It's only 4 worlds, where typically the Mario games this time were at least 8 worlds, so it is a bit short. I did discuss this in my playthrough video, but this is also an odd game. There's a lot of characters in this that were not in any other Mario games. I don't remember there ever being spiders or bouncing heads. There's the weird hands right before the last boss that come out of the pipe. There's just enemies in this game that are much different than any other Mario game that came out. I will say that this game was probably the most advanced, and I mean, with sound, graphics, gameplay, out of all of these 5 launch games, there's a lot of game variety here, and just variety in general that none of the other games really captured. Everything else was pretty simple compared to this. But that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe and click that bell icon for notifications. Thank you.